Well, welcome to the Global Decarbonization Accelerator. I'm Landon Darrence. I'm Senior Director of the Atlantic Council Global Energy Center. Really excited to be at COP28 to have a conversation about how we can drive ambition on climate change. To do that, you definitely need industry. So I'm really excited today to be joined by Lorenzo Simonelli, who is the CEO and Chairman of Baker Hughes. Lorenzo, welcome to Dubai.
Landon, thank you very much.
How is the COP treating you so far?
Well, 2 days in, it's been very exciting. It's good to see everybody that's participating. Good to hear the discussions around how we're going to be taking energy transition forward and really how the stock take is occurring as well at this moment in time. So I think expectations are high on what we can achieve during COP28, but everybody realizes that climate change is top of the agenda.
You know, I recall Dr. Sultan coming to Houston for CERAWeek and really making an effort to say this is going to be an inclusive COP, not just from industry, from all parties, and bringing a lot of people together here. It's certainly something I've seen demonstrated in the context of the COP so far as well. But industry is a key component of that. You know, how has the reception been in terms of a technology company like Baker Hughes and engaging with this broader coalition of climate leaders?
The reception's been good. And if you look at what was said, you really need all of the aspects and the ingredients to come together if you want this energy transition to be successful. It needs to be an ecosystem of policies, regulators, technology companies, NGOs, and really coming to the forefront. And we as an energy technology company are very much providing CCUS capabilities, direct air capture, the application of hydrogen. And we see it as very important to have that ecosystem come together. And that's what an inclusive COP is all about.
You know, Baker Hughes has a history of a lot of technologies. And one of those is actually in the conventional side that has to do with methane and methane capture. We're expecting some pretty major announcements here in Dubai. Are you seeing some momentum in terms of that conventional story as well?
We are. And as you look at one of the key low-hanging fruits, it's the elimination of flaring and also reducing methane from an emission standpoint. Technologies exist today. We're actually conducting many large projects where we're stopping and displacing the flaring, being able to recapture the gas and utilize the gas. And we think and look forward to announcements being made that continue that journey ahead. And it's one of the best ways in which we can reduce greenhouse gases in the short term.
Well, I think it is important to think about the short term, but companies are being asked to take on a much longer ambition to match some of the nationally determined contributions from countries, net zero commitments mid-century. And I think Baker Hughes is certainly a part of that conversation as well. Talk a little bit more about the technologies that you mentioned earlier, just in terms of where you see the horizon for a company like Baker Hughes to engage in these solutions.
Well, I'd start by saying that Baker Hughes made our own net zero pledge for Scope 1 and 2 back in 2019 for 2050, and we made a 50% reduction pledge for 2030. Since our baseline in 2019, we're already down 28%. So we're actually practicing what we say with regards to applying technology. As you look at technology, there's no doubt that there's a lot that can be done today from an operational efficiency. Better upgrading of equipment that doesn't have emissions or leaks and applying those in operations today. Digital capabilities. If you just look at the industry, oil and gas, you can achieve a 0.5 gigaton of emissions reductions by a 10% efficiency improvement. And as you go further, the application of hydrogen, the application of CCUS, direct air capture, and we have an array of technologies that we're introducing into the marketplace. We already have a number of projects that we're deploying on hydrogen. And we think also clean integrated power solutions are going to be the future. So stay tuned, but definitely technology is at the forefront of being able to enable a lower carbon economy of the future.
I think that's really exciting. Yeah, but we got to finish out the COP that we started. You mentioned that we're only a few days in. We have a couple more days, including the Energy Day on the horizon. What are you hoping to see for the remainder of COP, and then how do we maintain that momentum into the going all the way to 2025 and Brazil's COP as well?
I'm looking forward to the pragmatic discussion continuing and to having a dialogue amongst all the stakeholders, and so that we can actually continue to make progress. I think it's important that when we look at making it an inclusive process, that we continue the engagement across all of us that can enable it. And it's not an exclusion. We need inclusion so that we can all prosper in deploying the technologies, deploying the right policies, and having the right engagement going forward.
Well, Lorenzo, we certainly wish Baker Hughes a fruitful COP, and thank you for your part in helping keep this ambitious agenda alive and moving forward.
Thank you very much.